Hey, let me tell you about the most ridiculous thing I did when I was 17. You know how they say teenage years are all about rebellion and making questionable life choices? Well, I took that to a whole new level. I was your typical high school troublemaker. My parents couldn't tell me anything because obviously I knew everything. I had this boyfriend, Jake. Total dreamboat, captain of the football team, the whole package. My parents hated him, which naturally made me love him even more. Classic teenage logic, right? But then Mr. Peterson started teaching AP literature. He was different from other teachers, young, passionate about poetry, and he had this way of making Shakespeare sound like modern-day gossip. Plus, he wore these hipster glasses that made him look like an indie movie protagonist. At first, I thought I just really loved his class. I mean, who wouldn't? He'd read Byron with such intensity that even the classroom plants seemed to swoon. Jake started getting jealous because I wouldn't shut up about Mr. Peterson's brilliant interpretations of romantic poetry. One day, after class, Mr. Peterson and I got into this deep conversation about Romeo and Juliet. The irony of what happened next still makes me laugh. He mentioned how the whole story was about young love's foolishness, and I, being the walking embodiment of teenage drama, completely missed the point. Things escalated when I started staying after school for extra help. Jake caught on pretty quick. He confronted me in the cafeteria, causing this huge scene where he accused me of having a crush on Mr. Peterson. Instead of denying it, I threw my chocolate milk at him and stormed out. Real mature, right? My parents grounded me after that incident. But here's where it gets really wild. Mr. Peterson had mentioned planning to attend this poetry festival in Vermont. In my hormone-addled brain, this seemed like destiny calling. I convinced myself that we had this deep spiritual connection that transcended the student-teacher relationship. So I did what any rational teenager would do. I packed a bag, stole my mom's emergency credit card, and left a dramatic note about following my heart. I even quoted Percy Shelley, thinking it would make the whole thing more romantic. Spoiler alert, it didn't. I took a bus to Vermont, imagining this perfect scenario where Mr. Peterson would see me and realize we were meant to be together. I'd practiced my speech and everything. Mr. Peterson, I know this is crazy, but want to know what actually happened? I got to Vermont, found the poetry festival, and spotted Mr. Peterson with his husband. Plot twist, right? Turns out all those times he was talking about his partner's excellent taste in literature, he wasn't being coy, I just wasn't paying attention. The most embarrassing part? I had to call my parents to come get me. The 5-hour car ride home was pure torture. My dad couldn't stop laughing, and my mom kept alternating between lecturing me about responsibility and asking if I'd lost my mind. When I returned to school, everyone knew. Jake had moved on with the cheerleading captain, which seemed fair. Mr. Peterson was surprisingly cool about it. He never mentioned it directly, but he did assign us an essay about misconceptions and false assumptions in literature. The whole thing became this legendary story in our school. People still bring it up at reunions. Hey, aren't you the girl who tried to elope with Mr. Peterson? Yes, I am. And you know what? It's actually pretty funny now. Looking back, I realize how absurd the whole thing was. I mean, who actually thinks eloping with their teacher is a good idea? But that's the thing about being a teenager. Everything feels so intense and important. You think you're starring in this epic romance novel, but really you're just starring in a comedy of errors. The experience taught me a lot, though. Like, maybe listen to your parents sometimes. They might actually know a thing or two, and perhaps don't make life-changing decisions based on your interpretation of romantic poetry. Also, always check if your teacher is married before planning to elope with them. Just basic life lessons, really. These days, whenever I see my old high school yearbook, I can't help but laugh. There's a picture of me in the literature club looking so serious and profound, probably plotting my great escape. Mr. Peterson is still teaching there, by the way. His husband sometimes helps with the drama department productions, and they're absolutely adorable together. So that's my story of teenage rebellion gone hilariously wrong. I'd say I learned my lesson, but honestly, I think the universe just needed a good laugh that day. And hey, at least I got an A in AP Literature.